Welcome to Haven of Prayer, where peace and healing await you. In today's video, Night Prayer of Healing, let God's presence embrace your heart. We invite you to surrender your worries and rest in the loving arms of God. Allow His presence to surround you as you drift into a peaceful sleep. Stay with us until the end for a powerful prayer and calming music that will heal your soul. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with those in need of comfort tonight.
Tonight, I come before you with an open heart, knowing that only in your presence can I find true rest. I acknowledge my weaknesses, my limits, and the times I feel lost, unsure of how to move forward. Yet, despite my smallness, I place every thought, every feeling, and every desire in your hands. I trust completely that your infinite love will turn my weariness into strength and my confusion into clarity. As I close my eyes, I surrender all my intentions to you, the ones deep in my heart that only you truly understand. There is no prayer too small, no broken heart too shattered for you. While my body seeks rest, may my soul find peace in the knowledge that you are my constant refuge. Your presence fills me with a peace that transcends anything this world could offer. Let each beat of my heart be an offering to you, even as I sleep. Though I speak no words, let my rest be my prayer, and may every sigh in the dark speak of my love for you. I do not seek great things, but simply that when I wake, my life will reflect your light, and my actions will echo my love for you. Grant me the grace to awaken with a renewed soul, freer, calmer, and filled with hope. May your presence envelop me even in my dreams, whispering truths that heal my inner being. Plant seeds of faith within me as I rest, and let them grow strong with each new dawn. Thank you for allowing me to trust you with every part of my life. I know there is no corner of my being that escapes your loving gaze. Tonight, as everything quiets down, I choose to trust, to surrender to your will, and to rest knowing that you are working, even in silence. I stand before you with all that I am. No masks, no pretenses, just the sincere desire to grow in your presence. You know my weaknesses, my failures, and my silences. Yet, you look at me with love and invite me to move forward, to become more like you, to reflect your compassion in my daily life. Today, I don't seek perfection, but an openness to your guidance, allowing you to shape me from within. Grant me wisdom to know when to speak and when to be silent. There are times when my impulses take over, but I desire to live in harmony with you, acting with prudence and kindness. Teach me to be an example, not through grand words, but through small gestures that bring your light to those around me. Let my actions be bridges to you, and may others discover your love through the way I live. I want to know you beyond the surface, to experience your closeness in the simple details of the day. Allow me to feel you in the embrace of those who love me, in the smile of a stranger, in the whisper of the wind. Let every moment become a sacred encounter with you, and may nothing I live be disconnected from your loving presence. I desire that my faith is not just words, but a lived reality. May my thoughts be imbued with your truth, and my decisions reflect your will. If I stumble, lift me up. If I doubt, strengthen me. If I stray, bring me back. Only you know how deeply I long for others to know you through what I am and what I do. Continue working in me. Even when I don't perceive it, I am willing to let your hands work deep within my soul, removing what does not serve you and strengthening what pleases you. I do not wish to live for myself, but to be your instrument in this world, that so desperately needs true hope and love. Pour out your Spirit upon me, Lord, like a river that transforms, that cleanses, that brings new life. I need to be renewed from within, illuminated by the presence that guides me, comforts me, and drives me to be more faithful. I do not want to live by my own strength, but led by the wisdom that comes only from you. Let each gift of the Spirit blossom within me, and make me more sensitive to your voice. Help me grow a steadfast faith, not based on fleeting emotions, but rooted in your eternal truth. Teach me to be obedient, even when I do not understand the way. Let not my selfish desires guide me, but your will, which always leads me to what is best. Even when I doubt, grant me the inner certainty that you are working in every detail, even in the things I cannot comprehend. Teach me to live with consistency, to be the same in public and in private. Let there be no contradiction between what I say and what I do. Help me to be a living reflection of your love, not only in words but in simple gestures, in patience, in compassion, in truth. I want others to see in me the mark of your presence. Lord, place within me the ability to forgive without holding anything back. May resentment not take root in my heart, and may my wounds not define who I am, just as you forgive me each day. Teach me to release my pain and look with mercy upon those who have wronged me. If I have been the one to cause harm, grant me the humility to ask for forgiveness with sincerity, free from excuses or pride. Make me a true witness of your love in the world. Where there is darkness, let me carry your light. Where there is hatred, let me sow reconciliation. Don't allow fear to paralyze me, nor indifference to cool my heart. I long to live filled with your Spirit, walking beside you, building bridges, and spreading peace. There are days when the weight of the world feels heavier, when exhaustion reaches me before I expect it, and my soul is filled with questions without answers. In the midst of this silent fatigue, I try to hold on, even though I feel fragile within. I don't always understand why certain trials come, but I want to learn to look beyond the immediate difficulty. Sometimes, what appears to be a fall is just the beginning of a new lesson. When pain comes, not as punishment, but as a tool of transformation, I begin to see that every tear has purpose, and even my fears can be seeds of wisdom if I learn to view them with new eyes. I don't want to run from suffering, but rather discover what it can teach me. While the world sleeps, I desire for my heart to awaken to new understandings. May this rest be more than physical, but an opportunity to renew what's inside me. If I face obstacles, may they not destroy me, but strengthen me. Let every difficulty leave in me a mark of triumph and a deeper hope. It's not about removing the hard moments, but learning to live through them with a different perspective. May sadness not trap me, fear not defeat me, nor exhaustion consume me. I want to see each experience as an opportunity to grow, to draw closer to the person I want to become, to discover new paths even in the darkness. And if there's something I still don't fully understand, may my trust not depend on the answers, but on the certainty that everything has a higher meaning. May my learning never cease, may my spirit never fall asleep, and even in the longest night, may I find the spark that keeps me moving forward. There are times when I feel like I have control over everything, but life quickly reminds me how fragile the security I build on my own is. I've tried to walk guided only by my own judgment, and more than once, I ended up lost. That's why I want to learn to let go of my own plans and embrace a wiser path, one that doesn't rely solely on my strength, but on a higher guidance. Trust doesn't always come easy, especially when things don't turn out the way I expect. Yet, within me, there's a sincere desire to learn how to surrender, not from weakness, but from wisdom. Choosing to rely on something greater than myself isn't surrendering. It's opening the door to a deeper peace, one that isn't shattered by every setback. In the midst of daily tasks, demanding relationships, and draining thoughts, I want to find a quiet space within. I don't seek to escape the world, but to find you within it. In every conversation, in every effort, in every pause, I want to sense your presence, glimpses of your love hidden in the ordinary. I feel the need to rediscover the beauty in simplicity, to pause without haste and contemplate, to observe the details, the gestures, nature itself, and remember that I am never alone. That silent but constant connection with you is what steadies me when everything seems to tremble. Help me not to forget it in the noise of life. If I can open myself to that sacred moment of encounter, I know I'll face my fears with more courage, my doubts with more clarity, and my days with more purpose. What I long for most is that calm that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on a living presence that walks with me every step of the way. Each day brings new challenges, some small, some seemingly insurmountable. Sometimes I lack clarity, other times I lack energy. But inside me, there's a strength waiting to be awakened, a courage I don't always recognize but know is there, ready to rise. Tonight, I ask that this part of me, the one that never gives up, be strengthened, the part that fights with hope. I want to learn to see difficulties with new eyes, not as punishments or impossible obstacles, but as opportunities in disguise. Let each tense situation be fertile ground for patience. Let each moment of uncertainty create space for faith. And let every limit I discover in myself teach me that there is still much to build. Throughout my life, I've received unique gifts, though many times I've overlooked them or let them lie dormant. Today, I want to recognize them, value them, and begin using them with joy. I don't want to live half-heartedly or let my talents waste away in fear or comparison. Grant me the vision to see in myself a potential that comes from something greater. I find meaning when I do things with love. Even the simplest tasks become valuable when I approach them with dedication and gratitude. May I find satisfaction in the everyday, joy in the small things, and fulfillment in what once seemed routine. Because everything I do, when lived with intention, can be part of something much deeper. Tonight, I ask you to renew the inner strength to keep moving forward. May my emotions not limit me. May my doubts not paralyze me. And may I rise each day with the conviction that it's worth giving my best, even when no one sees. Let each step have purpose, and may my humanity, enriched by your love, always be a path of growth. Choosing the path of good is not always comfortable, and many times it requires letting go of desires that scream loudly within me. I know not everything I want is good for me, and that's why I need to learn to distinguish between what leads me to fullness and what traps me within myself. I don't want to be a slave to my emotions or impulses. I long to be free within. There are battles fought in silence, far from the eyes of others. They are internal decisions, small yet constant, that shape my character. Struggling against pride, the desire to always be right, and the inner voice that justifies everything is a daily challenge. But it is in these moments where true transformation begins, when I choose what is right, even when it costs me. I long to grow in generosity, not in a forced way, but from a heart that is pure and unburdened. To love without expecting anything in return, to act without seeking recognition, to give without measure. These are aspirations that can only be achieved with deep inner freedom. To do this, I must let go of the things that tie me down, leaving behind what prevents me from moving forward. At times, I felt like a prisoner to my own insecurities, believing I had to protect myself by building walls. But true love doesn't thrive in confinement. I need to tear down those barriers that separate me from others and open myself with honesty, without fear of rejection, without being afraid to show myself for who I truly am. More than physical strength, I seek strength of spirit, the kind of will that doesn't depend on the mood of the moment, but on a deep-rooted decision. I don't want to be swept away by what's easy or immediate. I would rather choose what builds, what transforms, what leads me to be better each day, even if it involves sacrifice. Living in the present isn't always easy for me. I often find myself lost in what's missing, what hurts, what hasn't arrived yet. But deep within, there's a longing to savor each moment with gratitude, to learn to appreciate the simple things, those I often take for granted. To live lightly doesn't mean living without depth. It means living with freedom. Attachment to material things, to the predictable, or even to the past, has stolen precious moments from me. That's why I want to learn to let go, to flow with what life brings me, to recognize that the most beautiful things are not always the most obvious. I wish for my days to be marked by the wonder of the everyday, by joy that arises without complicated reasons. Not everything has been easy. I've cried in silence. I've felt my soul dimmed. I've gone through nights when it seemed like there was no way out. But in the midst of it all, I've started to understand that even tears can become seeds for something new. Pain, when seen through different eyes, can open doors that I never noticed before. Hope isn't just a nice word. It's a force that pushes me from within, a light that appears when I least expect it. When I connect with it, the gray days become lighter, and even the smallest gestures take on new meaning. I don't need to have everything figured out to live with joy. I need to trust that each step leads me to a good place. Living with this mindset transforms the way I exist in the world. I can continue fighting, dreaming, building, but without carrying unnecessary burdens. And if tears come along the way, let them have their place, knowing they don't last forever and that laughter is waiting ahead. There are decisions I must make and paths I don't always know how to walk. Sometimes, I find myself standing at uncertain crossroads, trying to choose without knowing which direction will lead me where I long to go. That's why I seek clarity, the inner light that allows me to move forward with confidence, without being paralyzed by fear or doubt. I don't ask for luxury or excess, just what will allow me to live with dignity and peace of mind. A stable job, enough health to keep going, and the necessary conditions so that nothing essential is lacking in my home. Well-being is not measured solely by material things, but I know that having the basics covered is part of the balance I need. The lacks I experience are not just physical. Often, what's missing is understanding, kindness, someone to listen without judgment. That's why I wish to be surrounded by people who build, not destroy, who add value, not take away. May those who walk beside me reflect respect, empathy, and genuine love. Deep down, we all need the same thing: to be seen, valued, supported. I want to be part of an environment where solidarity reigns, where mutual help is not the exception, but the rule. May kindness not be rare, but common. May generosity not depend on surplus, but on a sincere desire to share. If I ever find myself with more than I need, may I not forget to extend a hand. And if a day of scarcity comes, may I not lack hope nor the comfort of those who know how to accompany me. For in the end, true well-being is built together, step by step, with humility and love. There are moments when my soul needs to pause, to breathe deeply, and to look inward with sincerity. No masks, no excuses. It is in this deep pause that the desire to return to what's essential arises, to reconnect with what gives meaning to everything. Today is one of those moments when I feel the need to open my heart completely. I have nothing to hide. I am who I am, with light and shadow, with progress and setbacks. But even so, with all my humanity, I present myself ready to renew myself from within. I want to give myself fully, knowing that in that surrender, there is freedom, there is renewal, there is truth. Life has taught me that staying firm is not always easy, but it has also shown me that every time I return to my center, something good happens. There's a strength that lifts me, a calm that embraces me, and a certainty that reminds me that it's worth moving forward, even when the path becomes difficult. The most beautiful thing is knowing that I don't have to pretend or prove anything to be accepted. That patience waiting for me in silence, that tenderness that never runs out, gives me the courage to start anew, as many times as necessary. There's nothing that compares to the feeling of being received just as I am. In this moment, I need nothing more than this sincerity, to let life shape me, for humility to transform me, and for the eternal to inspire me. Sometimes, all it takes is to pause, close my eyes, and remember that there's always a source of love ready to embrace me once again. There's so much happening around me, and I'm aware of it. I know there are countless people out there fighting silent storms, battles that can't be seen but slowly wear down the soul. I think of them, those long nights, those heavy days, those moments when hope slips away like sand through the fingers. Today, I want to lift them up in my prayer. Even if I don't know their names or their stories, may there be light along their paths. Let a flicker of hope appear, even in the smallest of gestures, a kind word, an unexpected hug, or a sign that reminds them they are not alone. We all need a helping hand, a close presence to lift us when our strength falters. I also pray for a heart more attentive. Too often, I'm so focused on my own concerns that I forget to notice those walking beside me. I want to be more present, more available, more willing to offer comfort to those who are carrying pain. It's not about having all the answers, but about being there without judgment. The suffering of others should never go unnoticed. When someone is broken on the inside, the least I can offer is genuine empathy. To listen with my soul, to look with compassion, to be there without rushing. May my actions bring relief, even if it's just a little, to those walking through darkness. If I'm called to be that source of comfort, may I do it with humility and tenderness, not for recognition, but to return a fraction of the goodness I've received. Because we all, at some point, need someone who simply shows up. There are qualities I deeply admire and wish to cultivate with sincerity. Among them, the ability to look at others with true understanding, without judgment or hardness. Compassion is not weakness. It's a strength born from deep love. The desire to walk alongside without imposing, to embrace without conditions. I wish to keep my faith strong, even in the silence, when answers don't come right away, or the days seem to repeat without change. Trusting isn't always easy, but I know that when I surrender completely, peace begins to blossom. A peace that doesn't rely on external circumstances, but is built from within. At times, I react with rigidity, as if I fear change or letting go of what binds me. That's why I long for a more open heart, one capable of listening, adapting, and renewing itself without losing its essence. To be docile isn't to surrender. It's to remain flexible in the face of what life brings, without hardening because of past wounds. I want to move away from anything that shuts down my spirit. Selfishness isolates me. Stubbornness limits me. But when I act with humility, I discover a different kind of freedom, a lighter way of being in the world. May my heart be a space that's not closed off, but warm, where tenderness, empathy, and selflessness dwell. If goodness lives within me, then I can be a source of encouragement to others. I don't seek perfection, only authenticity. May my way of being reflect what I believe, and may my love be consistent with my words. May everything I am become, little by little, fertile ground for hope. There are days when enthusiasm fades without warning. My body drags, and my mind fills with doubt. It's in those moments when I need to remember that inside me lies a strength that doesn't come solely from my will, but from something deeper. Something that sustains me even when I feel I can't go on. I don't seek to avoid weakness, but I do wish for the courage to face it without giving up. What hurts me, what limits me, what makes me feel small, all of it is part of who I am. But I don't want to let it define me. I want it to push me to grow, to understand myself better, to transform patiently. Tonight, I choose to pause sincerely. I place my burdens, my worries, and the situations I haven't been able to resolve, no matter how hard I've tried, on the table. It's not about surrendering. It's about accepting that not everything is in my hands, and that resting is also an act of wisdom. True rest is not just physical, it's also inner. When I calm my mind, when I allow silence to surround me, a serenity begins to grow within that brings balance. It's not about forgetting my problems, but about approaching them from a different place. One that's quieter, more clear-headed. I ask for strength, but also for clarity. I don't want to move through life by inertia, but with purpose. May each new dawn find me more grounded, more centered, more at peace with myself. Because even in the darkest night, there is room for relief and renewal if I allow myself to simply rest and trust. After a day filled with movement, thoughts, and emotions, I find a space where everything quiets down. Knowing I don't have to face this night alone fills me with peace. There's a silent companionship surrounding me, watching over me, walking with me, even when I can't see it. That certainty is enough to let my soul rest without fear. It doesn't matter how chaotic the day was, or how many times I felt overwhelmed by circumstances. In this moment, something within me relaxes, as if my heart knows it's time to let go. No words are needed here, just the deep intention to surrender fully to a restful, meaningful sleep. I close my eyes with a clear conscience, knowing that I don't need to have all the answers. This pause is necessary, not just for my body but for my soul, allowing the music to soothe my spirit, letting each note soften my thoughts, helps me release the accumulated tensions and open myself to a deeper peace. As I let myself be enveloped by this serene atmosphere, time seems to stand still. Everything urgent loses its grip, and what's truly important takes center stage. In this sacred moment, I reconcile with who I am, with what I feel, and with what I'm still learning to accept. Rest becomes an act of trust, of conscious surrender. And as the silence moves gently forward, I know that new opportunities are waiting for me. Tomorrow will bring challenges, yes, but it will also bring light, lessons, and moments that can completely transform my journey. For now, I just want to take a deep breath, close my eyes, and let the night embrace me softly.
As we come to the end of this prayer, I can only thank God for His constant presence, even in times when life seems challenging and filled with uncertainty. Each of us, at some point in our journey, needs to pause and remember that the peace we seek doesn't come from external forces but from surrendering to Him, the true source of serenity. If you found comfort in these words, don't hesitate to share this video with your friends and family. It might just be that someone at the right moment needs to hear exactly this. Here at Haven of Prayer, we strive to be a space of warmth and peace, where we can walk together in faith and hope, even through life's trials. May God's light continue to guide your path. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications, and share this content with those you know who may also need to feel the embrace of the Lord. God bless you all and see you in the next video.